Yo, what's up guys? This is Captain Daniel, and in today's video, I'm gonna talk about, as an Asian man, who should be your role model? And I really thought about this hard, right? And I think as Asian men, we have to be our own role model. And what do I mean by that? So back in the day, right, Bruce Lee was kind of like the ideal role model, right? Like the guy was charming, the guy was handsome, but he was also like, I think Bruce Lee, if he wasn't ripped, he wouldn't be as cool, but like because he's so ripped, he reaches powerful physique, and people actually, there's legends about him that he was just a badass, right? He just could kick people's butts. Even Chuck Norris, even white guys respected, black guys respected it. Steve McQueen wanted to hang out with him. The coolest guys actually wanted to hang out with him. So I remember they're saying that Steve McQueen, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like the coolest people. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is one of the best basketball players, but Steve McQueen was one of the most masculine actors, right? And one of the most beautiful actresses wanted to hang out with Bruce Lee. And you hear these stories and you're like, damn, like Bruce Lee was probably the epitome of a role model where like he was a high school quarterback in Hollywood, right? People wanted to hang out with him, which is really, really cool. But after he passed away, I feel like we got Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Donnie Yen, K-pop's getting big, but I feel like, is there any role models in today's media, right? It's because media is probably the best way we look at who we look up to, or even sports, right? Is there any role models we look at? Like Otani is killing it, right? That guy is a beast, by the way. That's great. Ichiro Suzuki, Linsanity, all this stuff, but I feel like in Asian men, we're still like underappreciated. Like Otani is a beast, but Japan was always good in baseball, right? And I'm talking about role model for when it comes to confidence and attraction, and like I'm talking about like who defines an Asian man, right? Like if you think about like, wow, like I know Asian men are sexy because of this, right? Bruce Lee was kind of like the one guy who does that. No one thinks Asian men are sexy or Asian men are good at sports because of Insanity or Shogatani, right? It's like, I don't think there is like a good role model for Asian men out there that I see. But in sports, yes. But like I'm talking about pure confidence, pure attraction, a guy who holds his sense to a high standard. So what's my like? What do I think is a great role model in modern society? Of course, I'm gonna say me. No, I'm just kidding. It's not me. So what I said is I think the greatest role model that you can look up to right now is actually the best version of you. So I remember there's this question someone asked, like, who do you respect or who do you look up to? And this guy answered, it was like emotional intelligence training, and he answered, my past self, because of what he'd been through, my present self, because of the work he's doing now to get to his future self, and then he said he looks up to his future self because of who he's going to be. And I felt like a great answer. I probably butchered that, but what I'm saying is like this guy has such a great answer to who is his role model. He said it was past self for all the stuff, all the challenges to become the man he is today, and his current self to become the current work he's doing to become the man he wants to be, and then his future self for actually being the epitome of the man he wants to be. And I think, with me, all my coaching guys, like I feel like, I kind of teach you guys what I've experienced, what I think is good for you, right? The body, the looks, the game, the money, whatever. Like what I'm trying to teach you, what I think a man should have to be the 1% or the best modern man you can be. But that's my opinion, right? It's what I think, right? And I think for you guys, if you guys don't know, if you don't have any role models to look up to, I do think that you should look up to an Asian man. Like you should not like, okay, for example, Andrew Tate, right? He's kind of like everyone's like role model in terms of the younger guys. A lot of guys are following. He got viral for a reason, but he's also 6'2", bald, white, right? Or even superheroes, Avengers, right? Batman, white, right? Like I understand, like it's good to have their traits, but I also think, guys, like don't lose sight that you are an Asian man. Like you have family Asian values. You love Asian food, probably, right? You might not have the same physical look as some of these white guys, because usually sometimes white guys are taller. We don't have the same like facial features, right? So I feel like, I saw this girl. She was on the Alice basketball team, and she said, people call me too ghetto, but I want girls who look like me to know that just be you. And I think as an Asian man, like we shouldn't look up to people. I mean, like I said, we could like take traits from other people, but like from other races, I feel like we should like. I don't think a black kid in the ghetto looks up to a white guy playing basketball, right? You could say like no black kid's like, oh, I want to be like Larry Bird, right? Well, Larry Bird was like, or Luka Doncic, right? I think those are for more Eastern Europe guys, or European players want to be like Luka Doncic. They try to follow, or people like following Steph Curry because he's shorter and he has that same stature. But I think, we as Asian men, I think we don't have any like real Asian role models out there. And, I think you guys should find a way to look at then yourselves, right? I think that's the best role model we can find, because sometimes at some point you gotta realize, like, we gotta stop trying to be like other people, right? You gotta figure out what is the person that I want to become, who's the best version of me that I want to become. And it could be anything. It could be a billionaire, it could be a jack guy, it could be a actor, it could be an athlete, it could be a monk, it could be whatever you want it to be. But I think figure out who you want to look up to in yourself, right? And I think that's the thing we're missing. Obviously my goal is to be one of those big role models that Asian kids can look up to. That's why I'm doing these YouTube videos. I do want to become famous. I do want to go into Hollywood and everything like that. But I realized, like, who can I emulate, right? Can I emulate Stephen Yeun? Can I emulate Simu Liu? You guys know my thoughts about Simu Liu, right? I'm not a big fan of him. But like, do I want to go Jackie Chan route with the comedy and the martial arts route? Jet Li, right? I do think Bruce Lee was probably, but I'm not a martial artist, right? But I do think Bruce Lee was probably like the ideal guy that I would love to emulate. But I think right now, my message to you guys is, if you can't find a role model, or you're looking at the wrong role models like Andrew Tate, and I'm not saying they're bad people, I'm just saying like they're white, right? They're Caucasian, or if you look up to a black guy, like, there's a reason. Have you ever heard a white guy look up to an Asian guy, right? That never happened, right? Or have you looked up to a black guy look up to a white guy? Like, no, because there's a reason for that. And I feel like as Asians, we don't have anybody to look up to. So you gotta really become and understand, become soon, but you gotta first look at yourself and be like, who is the best version of me? Who is the ideal? Like, think about, I guess, your life as a video game, or like a movie, right? And if your life was a movie or a video game, what do you want the hero, which is you, to look like? Like, if you were the director, your actor and everything, right? You're the person, like, how Ben Affleck that makes his own movies and stuff. Like, if you're the director and the actor, right, producer and everything like that, how would you want your main character to look like? You probably want him to be badass. You want him to be really, really cool. And I feel like, see it like that and try to find ways to really be that man, right? And obviously you could you could take some traits from other people here and there, but I think the best role model right now for Asian men is yourself. It's the best version of yourself. And I know that's woo-woo, I know that's cheesy, but it is true, because we really don't have one, guys. Like, I just recently watched the Barbie trailer, and I'm just like, bro, like, Simu Liu, no, definitely not. Definitely, I want to go to Hollywood, but I definitely don't want to go follow his route. The guy from Everything Everywhere at Once, really cool guy, but I don't have his look too, right? I want to be more masculine in terms of muscles and everything like that, more of an action star. He was more like, he just played that role well, though, by the way. That was such a great role. He was like a nerdy, badass guy, cool, kung fu guy. But, and I think Michelle Yeoh said that too, like, he wants girls or guys who look like her to know that you can have a dream. And I believe in that too. I do think that you should truly, find somebody, but that's what I'm saying. I think you should find yourself. Just be yourself. I think you need to look up to yourself. I think that's actually the best way to have a role model, right? I think the best version of you is the role model you should be. So this one's kind of a short video, but I mean, I'm not gonna keep hitting on that you should just be your own role model. But I really wanna give you my 2 cents on that, because that's what I'm doing. I feel like I gotta stop chasing other people, and there's no role model I'm looking at right now that I could follow. So I'm gonna just be myself, right? And be the best version of me every single day. So once again, guys, please subscribe, like this video, right? And also, go join my Facebook, Dominant Asian Dating Group. And also, if you guys want to do a one-on-one call, hit me up on my website, dominantasiandating.com. All right, guys, Captain Daniel out.